What's going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family? Welcome to the PT channel. I'm One Eyebrow. You don't know if I'm winking or I'm blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about The Walking Dead in Season 9, Episode 9. Some potential spoilers for the episode. So obviously, spoiler warning if you don't want to know this information. I don't want to ruin anything for you. Well, the spoilers are out for Episode 909, the Q&A from the Spoiling Dead fans. We're going to talk about that, discuss it, break it down, and just really have that great information from them to share with you. So obviously, we love The Walking Dead and The Walking Dead family. Show us some love by hitting that subscribe button to become a valued member of the PT channel and our Walking Dead family. Obviously, giving photo credit and info credit to these fine folks right here, giving credit where credit is due for sure. And without them, this wouldn't be possible. And Season 9, Episode 9 will be titled Adaptation. The synopsis reads, the group unmasks a disturbing and dangerous new threat. An escaped captive revisits his past. So obviously, the escaped captive is Negan. The unmasked threat is the Whispers, Lydia, Alpha. Here we go, baby. So, and away we go, the Spoiling Dead fans, right? Where do we pick up with Daryl and Michonne's group? What do they do after the Whisper is unmasked? We pick up with the scene from the 9B trailer in the cemetery and another big fight with the Whispers. The group kills several more and finally makes their way back to their horses. How is Lydia captured? On the way back to Hilltop from the cemetery, the group encounters a small group of walkers on a bridge. In order to determine which ones are Whispers, Daryl starts shooting them in the leg with arrows. And I'm sure they're bolts, as some people get so mad at that. Bolts are in a crossbow. Arrows, bolts, really the same thing in my opinion. The real walkers keep coming towards him, but the ones who are Whispers fall to the ground and are eaten. Finally, one of the Whispers raises her hands and drops to her knees to surrender. It's Lydia. So we are not going to get a time jump. It's going to pick up right at the end of 908 into 909 at the cemetery, and I'm excited to see how it goes down. A lot of people thought that we could see Lydia at the cemetery, but the walkers and the Whispers are going to be taken out by Magna, Yumiko, Michonne, Daryl. They know about the threat now, and they know what they're up against. Well, somewhat. They still don't know who these Whisperers are and what they're all about, but it's kind of creepy. Some people thought this was going to be Lydia, but Michonne is clearly going to just chop this person's head off or cut this person down. So these Whisperers and Walkers don't stand a chance for sure. The fact that they killed Jesus is crazy because he was one of their best fighters, and the Whisperers are for real. This is Lydia. We saw the trailer yesterday. It's awesome. Lydia looks great, and someone said that her mask is kind of loose, and I could kind of see that, but I would just think it would fit better, right? But Daryl's going to grab her mask off her head, yoink, Scooby-Doo style. Oh my goodness, it's a girl. It's Lydia. Ah! But Lydia is going to be seen first. Lydia, then Alpha, then Beta, most likely. We're going to see Lydia and Alpha this episode. Pretty cool stuff. I know a lot of people were thinking about the Whispers. Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it right? Is it going to drag on? I don't think so. I think the Whispers are here and they're going to change the dynamic on the show. It's probably the worst threat the group has seen in a long time. The Saviors were kind of, a pain in the butt, but the Whispers are here to really clean house and annihilate the survivors as best they can. And they're not going to go down without a fight, obviously. So there's going to be the Whisperer angle, the survivor angle, who makes it out on top. Lydia is going to be captured and put in a different jail cell than Henry at Hilltop. But back at Hilltop, what is the reaction to Jesus' death? Who will lead now? It's pretty somber, obviously, and Tara and Enid take it the hardest. While most assume Tara will become the new leader, Michonne finally convinces Daryl that he would be a better fit, at least for now. Who interacts with Lydia at Hilltop, and how do the interactions go? Daryl and Michonne first try and interrogate her, but that goes nowhere. Lydia just cries and plays the sympathy card while telling lie after lie. Daryl finally figures out that Henry has taken a liking to Lydia, and he's still in jail too for the drunk and disorderly. He decides to leave them alone, hoping Lydia will open up to Henry while listening from outside the jail window. So pretty interesting stuff. Should we really buy that Michonne is going to make the call who should lead at Hilltop? The people at Hilltop don't really like Michonne. Well, Tara might have a soft spot for Michonne still, but why is Michonne making the call for what should happen at Hilltop? She's not a member of that community. She's an Alexandrian, but we'll see what happens. Daryl is clearly going to be part leader, if not the leader of Hilltop. And we know that Lydia is going to have a connection with Henry because that's the Carl dynamic. But also I think Lydia and Daryl will have some sort of connection and storyline going forward. And I'm very interested to see what happens there. We see Lydia on the horse being taken in by Michonne to Hilltop. But Michonne back at Hilltop should be pretty interesting because, again, there is some conflict between Michonne and the other communities. So Hilltop needs new leadership, but we'll see how it happens. Henry is still in the drunk tank from this night out, so I'm guessing there's 2 jail cells, 1 and 1. So we saw Earl, Henry, and Lydia in the Hilltop jail cells. And I kind of like that idea of having Lydia and Henry talk and maybe form a connection. We'll see if it lasts and what happens between them two this season and potentially beyond. How do they plan on dealing with the Whispers? They're not sure yet. Daryl wants to work on Lydia some to try and to get as much information about them before they act. What is going on with Negan? Where does he go? He goes straight back to the sanctuary only to discover that it's abandoned. All that's left are a few walkers in the courtyard, including one of his former lieutenants, Big Richie. There's more to Negan's story in this episode. Is something going on with Rosita? Do we have a love triangle on our hands? Rosita is pregnant, but Siddiq is the father. She tells Siddiq about it. They apparently had a short fling before Father G. Eugene overhears Rosita and Siddiq's conversation. So that's a different twist than the comic for sure. But Lydia is going to lie and probably not give that much information to Daryl. Why would she just give up Alpha and the Whispers? That doesn't make sense. So we'll see if she lets her guard down with Henry right away or what happens there. I'm excited to find out. Negan goes back to the sanctuary. You think he would, right? Because that's where he came from. He would hopefully get some people on his side, rebuild the sanctuary, but it's abandoned. Big Richie, another lieutenant? What's up with that? What's going on with Negan? How many lieutenants did he actually have? But the sanctuary has fallen. Will they ever use the sanctuary again? Will it be rebuilt? Will Negan go back there and eventually come to power again? Is the story going to be that much different than the comics? Because in the comics, Dwight runs the sanctuary and it's still there and it's still a group and a community. We'll have to see. And what's going on with this? So in the comics, Eugene is with Rosita. Rosita cheats on Eugene with Siddiq. Rosita becomes pregnant, but Rosita does not have the baby because Rosita is killed before she can have the baby. Is that going to happen on the show? We just don't know. But either way, Siddiq is the father. You are the father. Siddiq is the father. So we'll see if Rosita stays alive, and that's a little twist and turn. Again, the show is the show, and the comic is the comic. But Rosita is pregnant, and a lot of people were wondering if she would be. I thought she might have got pregnant in 9A before the time jump, but it happened after the time jump. But we'll see how it happens, what happens. We're going to have another baby potentially. Do you like that or hate it? Let me know. What is Judith up to in this episode? Judith encounters Negan when he's about to climb over the wall to leave Alexandria. You think Negan has been busted, but he tells a story about how Judith's mom and dad said he would serve some bigger purpose in the future. Well, how can he do that if he's stuck in a prison cell? Right? Then after he promises to never ever hurt someone again, Judith decides to let him go. Does anyone get hurt or die? Nope. So Judith will encounter Negan. And I could just picture Judith pointing her gun at Negan like, stop right there. But what's going to happen with Judith and Negan in the future of that storyline? Because we did see Judith have a little storyline with Negan, kind of the Carl aspect from the comic. But what happens with these two characters going forward? Judith and Negan will probably have to interact again, but I wonder if Negan has his big comic storylines with Alpha and the Whispers. You know what I'm talking about. Will Negan hurt or kill again? And if it is it justifiable? Is it to save somebody? I personally think that Negan will save Daryl, but there's been some reports that I've heard that Negan does meet the Whispers, but it's different than the comic. And I really can't wait to find out. What's going on at the Kingdom? Does Carol make it back? Carol and the Kingdom are not in this episode. Do we see Alpha and or Beta in this episode? What are they doing? Yes, at the very end when she captures Alden and Luke using her sawed-off shotgun. So I don't know if we see Beta, but we see Alpha, and that was in the trailer that we saw yesterday at the very end. They put 2 and 2 together. Well, we did because it was the woods, and it just made sense that Alpha captures Luke and Alden. No Carol, I guess no Ezekiel, no Kingdom, but that's where Carol was going at the end of episode 907 or 908, at the end of the first half of the season 9. But when does Carol come back? I think we'll see Carol and Ezekiel going on a run somewhere in a couple episodes, but I want to see what happens with Carol, Ezekiel, and the Kingdom for sure. Here's a great picture of Alpha. Greg Nicotero's Instagram. Give him a follow. He's got some great photos on there if you love The Walking Dead and all the things he's a part of. But ultimately, Alpha has her sawed-off shotgun, and I want to see her machete. Does it have the red handle on it? Like Rick's? Is it Rick's? We don't know just yet, but she captures Alden and Luke, and I wonder if both of these guys survive, if one gets killed, if both get killed, because I could see both of these guys getting killed off. especially because Luke's part of the new group, Magnus group. I don't think everyone's going to survive there. Also, Alden has been around for a couple seasons now, plus he's with Enid. And if you're in a relationship, that spells trouble for both people in the relationship. But Alden and Luke could survive, they could not. But I'm excited to see how it goes down. And I guess at the very end of the episode, we finally get to see Alpha. And then, dun dun dun, we have to see how it goes down the following week. So episode 909 is titled Adaptation. And I believe episode 910 is titled Omega. I'm excited to find out what happens. We have a trailer breakdown of the teaser trailer that came out yesterday. We talk about more things for the back half of season 9. And some of it's going to happen in episode 909, probably 910, probably throughout the back half of the season. But I'm excited. Check out the trailer breakdown if you want to know more. But it's pretty big news. It looks like a great episode. 909 picks up right after episode 908. Hilltop is going to be changed. Alexandria, Negan's out. We're going to see Alpha. We're going to see Lydia. We're going to see a great dynamic, hopefully, for the back half of season 9. Hopefully, it's a good thing that builds for the season. Season 10 has been greenlit, so we're going to get a back half of season 9 and then season 10, along with the first Walking Dead Rick Grimes movie. Man, it's a great time to be a Walking Dead fan. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Show us some love if you haven't already by hitting that subscribe button. Tell your friends about the PT channel and what we do. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, and as always, tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys. Honestly, thank you.